Hopefully this doesn't end up with me on the side of the road and working in a gravel pit. It's 3:45 a.m. I'm getting pretty tired. What's up, guys? This is a 1987 Toyota pickup. This is an absolute classic of a pickup truck, and people love these little Toyotas. This rig right here is ER2. This is going to be our next build series that we're doing. This is going to be a really cool little classic overland pickup truck. And if you're wondering what happened to the F550 project, we're still doing that, but that project has ballooned up and it's gonna take some time. This one is truly for Expedition Ranch, while the F550 build is gonna be for me personally as my own rig. And right now we gotta focus on the stuff for Expedition Ranch, and that would be this rig right here. So this video isn't gonna be a tour of this rig, this is the introduction. I'm gonna show you guys the story of actually going to buy this truck. It's gonna be a lot like the F550 when we went to go pick that one up, and a lot of you guys really like that. But I'm talking right now instead of showing you guys because, well, we debated not even showing you guys this video. So a little backstory here. We needed to buy another rig for our next giveaway for Expedition Ranch to build up, turn this little thing into a cool little overland rig. And we thought, let's do a Toyota because everyone loves Toyotas. I haven't owned one. I wanted to do something a little smaller, a little bit more nimble. The problem was we didn't really have time for like a full restoration project. So I went and I looked for something that was clean, good to go, low miles, like something that we didn't have to work on whatsoever. And I looked for a couple of months, and these Toyotas are super expensive. Like everything I was finding was like 20, 25 grand for something that was really nice and ready to go. So I finally found one that I wanted out in Austin, Texas, and it was for sale by a dealership. I've never purchased from a dealership, but this was the color that we wanted. This one was put together really well. And so I reached out to this dealership that had the car, and I spent a bunch of time talking with their lead sales guy. We'll just call him Sam for now. Well, Sam assured me that everything on this rig was good to go. I wasn't gonna have to work on it. It's an old vehicle, so there might be little things, but this rig was good to go. And after a lot of conversations with them, I put a $1,000 deposit on it, and I flew all the way out to Austin, Texas to go pick this rig up right here. I knew that I was paying a lot for this Toyota, but I felt all right about making the flight out there because, this dealership had hundreds of 5-star reviews. Now, this is where things get really weird. I actually reached out to corporate because they have dealerships all over the country, and I talked to their chief marketing officer about doing a sponsorship with Expedition Ranch. So we're working through that. We're gonna go out there and film this pickup. Super excited for it, and it did not go as planned, like whatsoever. And that's why I was really hesitant to make this video, because unfortunately, this rig has about $4,000 in repairs that we're gonna need to do, including a bad transmission. And after everything that happened with this dealership, I reached out to them and said, hey, I'm not going to do this sponsorship deal to you guys because I can't in good conscience recommend you guys to anyone that views these videos. And after a lot of consideration with this, I decided to go ahead and show you guys the purchase of this vehicle, and hopefully you guys can learn from some of my mistakes with dealerships in particular, things to watch out for, and to make sure that this video doesn't look like a hit piece on this dealership. As much as I was really frustrated with them, I decided to blur out their name and bleep out their name throughout this video, so we'll keep them anonymous. Anyway, without any further ado, let's jump into this video. All right, today we are picking up a classic Toyota pickup truck. And let me tell you guys, these things are not cheap. I mean, $19,250 for an old school Toyota. To be fair though, this one is extremely clean. It's straight. It has brand new paint. It has a newly upholstered interior. It has a brand new engine, new transmission. This thing is really clean. So for the first time in my entire life, I'm 26 by the way, I got myself a hotel, or I should say a motel. And we did it right down here in downtown Austin. So anyway, let's pack up and let's check out this almost $20,000 1980s Toyota. Also about to get an Uber for the first time in years. I've been out in the woods for way too long. We don't do Ubers out in the middle of nowhere. Now we're in Austin. There we go. I'm here to pick up a 1987 Toyota pickup. All right, so let's check out this truck.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You've had
Oh, I see it over there.
Over here in the corner next to the other 4-wheel drive stuff.
Look at the showroom. This is beautiful. How many cars you guys got in here?
I think right now about 190.
190?
Yeah.
Wow.
A little bit of everything.
Oh, there she is. Man, that thing does look clean. Yeah, it's quiet too. So, seats are all reupholstered?
Yes.
Or
yeah.
Awesome.
I don't think they're covers. I think it's actual.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's just the foam under there.
Okay. So I'm guessing this was original color?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it, because I mean, you know, this all they probably didn't go in and paint the jams and stuff, and they did a repaint. Man, I am so excited to drive this thing to Colorado. There we go. So 7,500 miles on this little guy right here. It's really quiet. Yeah, everything looks, no oil leaks or anything. He said that nothing was dripping over there. Yeah, no oil drips or anything over here. Tires are, I mean, geez, these look practically new.
Yeah.
Tailgate looks pretty solid. Just this little,
bit.
just that little one. I bet you that we could play with.
PDR guy could get that out.
You know what? There's another one right there.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had something on the back here and like
Dropped it on it.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny that they're in the exact same spot. Yep. I like that they were able to match this.
Yeah. Make sure it's flat contact.
Flat contact.
6 mil.
So
That's what the Porsche is inside. Brand new paint. 6 mil.
okay, so 8 right there. Amazon special though, so and it's been repainted too, so it's gonna have a little difference there. So for stuff like Bondo or anything like that, would this be the tool to use?
It can pick it up, but if it's real thick, it'll probably just air out.
Okay, that's interesting. I've always kind of, I guess that's more of a magnet thing, huh?
Yeah.
6. And it looks pretty consistent between 6 and 8. And it's been repainted. It's gonna have a little bit. 8. 4. 4. 6. None of the electronic stuff. It's 1987. Yep. This is new for me, buying something like that's restored and nice. Looks like there might be overall, this thing looks really clean. All right, so he's gonna be driving, since policy, generally speaking, is to go ahead and have, well, they go ahead and drive it, so we'll still get to hear how this thing drives. Love these little tiny shifters on these things. That thing sounds good. So there's no tack on it?
No tack.
No tack.
Very simple.
Yep. I mean, it sounds really good though.
Healthy. Shifts smooth.
Yeah, it seems to shift really well.
No grinding or anything like that.
No, when you're throwing the gear too, it doesn't seem like you have to really hunt for where it goes.
Real easy to find everything.
Those brakes definitely seem to.
Brakes are good.
Brakes are good. No ABS on this.
No. It is wet. I could give it more, but I don't feel like locking the brakes in right now.
E-brake works.
Yep.
Sweet.
Brake works.
Well,
I don't know if you want to see it while it's outside in the rain.
no, not really. We can pull it back inside.
It is a little chilly.
There's your manual locking hubs.
Yeah.
Those are the original Asins. Both of those turn well. Well, I think the only thing I want to check here in a second is just to see if that coolant's leaked anymore. It's probably just, you know, we'll probably do hoses on it. There's a couple bushings in there that are iffy, but it's all normal stuff. Great. Get my hand nice and close to that exhaust. You know, I'm just not seeing where it's coming from. I love how open that entire engine bay is right here.
There's a lot of room.
Yeah. Well guys, it might be 19 grand, but I think this is a good little truck. I think I'm good to go on this thing. It's a beautiful little truck. Look at that. I'm still curious how that transmission, like just getting in there with this little when transfer case level. Yeah. Like it's right up against it. It seems like that doesn't seem right. You know, like I feel like they shouldn't interfere with each other.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to shift into second without hitting the. I'm 6'3". This is definitely tight in here.
Yeah. It is a mini truck.
All right, so I just officially paid the Toyota tax. $19,250 for that thing. It's a cool truck, but it's crazy what those things go for. And trust me, I looked around for a while. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'd much rather have the money go to a sales guy than to the government. So overall, while I think it's expensive, that Toyota is going to be really cool. We're going to put some original Toyota decals on it. We're going to add in some goodies on top of it. It's going to be a sweet setup. Me and Remy are definitely going to go out for a little trip in it before the giveaway starts, and then we're going to park it and let it sit. So that one will probably start in we're aiming to start that one in March. Anyway, I guess it's time to take this Toyota and get up to Colorado. So hopefully this doesn't end up with me on the side of the road and working in a gravel pit. All right, there we go. Let's get this thing started and down the road. Toyota. It's definitely different. I don't know how much I like that I didn't get to drive it myself before buying it. You know, like $20,000 car and I don't get to do a test drive. That didn't sit quite well with me, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So, first place that we're gonna go before we go to Colorado is In-N-Out Burger. I'm gonna go get some food. Update. I just pulled over to get gas and get a Monster Energy drink, considering that I'm gonna be driving for a long time. The joke about Toyotas being slow is a little true. It does 70, but it's definitely, these Toyotas are definitely a little gutless. I went to go start it and the truck did not start. Nothing happened, and I think that it's gonna start now. Let's find out. Let me show you what I found under the hood. This battery cable right here was loose. Still is kind of loose. Oh, well, that right there will do it. So maybe I should pick something up for that. Then over here in our fuse box, good thing these trucks are simple, because I don't know anything about Toyotas or old trucks like this. These just come right out. It appears to me like they're not even really in there. These ones are, you know, you have to actually pull on them to get them out. So put that back in there. But this one right here either appears to be broken, or these are just like dummies that are just sitting in here. These are just completely loose. So I think that these don't do anything, and I think these do, because they're not, this isn't hooking up to anything. But I think it's a battery cable issue. And let's see if that does it. I do not want to deal, I really do not want to deal with what I have dealt with before on trips, especially when I just paid almost $20,000 for this truck. This should not happen. I've only made it like 75 miles. Okay, that's better than what we had. And it's running again. Okay, loose battery cables. We'll get those replaced. Anyway, let's continue on our journey, and hopefully Toyota will be reliable. As I'm sitting here talking about testing stuff, I just pushed a cigarette lighter in to see if this thing would get red hot. I held it in for about 10 seconds and it wasn't hot. I should say it didn't look hot. It's hot. dumb stuff. Dumb stuff. All right, we have an update. It's not a great one. We not only have the dash, but I've also found, this one's on me for not finding, but we don't have four-wheel drive because the passenger side hub will not turn. The locking hub won't turn. So that one is going to need to be rebuilt. And then on top of that, this transmission, which I was told has 7,500 miles on it, well, it is popping out of second gear. So it is, I'm gonna need to drop the transmission and get this transmission rebuilt. Now, as I was driving with the guy, I'm pretty sure we have it on video, he's like, transmission shifts great, things feel great.
Healthy, shifts smooth.
Yeah, it seems to shift really well.
No grinding or anything like that.
Well, as soon as I put that clutch in second gear, it goes right into neutral. And to keep it in second gear, I actually need to keep my hand on there pretty firmly and let the clutch out and make sure that it has pressure on those gears. As soon as I take my foot off the pedal, that thing wants to come out of second gear. All it takes is a fly to land on it and it comes out of second gear. So now this truck that we already really pushed our budget on for the giveaway, well, we're gonna need to spend at least another $2,200 to rebuild the transmission. So we are definitely gonna be calling tomorrow, and we are gonna see what they have to say about this. We're gonna keep driving for a while, get into New Mexico, get past sketchy Albuquerque, and we're gonna find some public lands, and I'm just gonna pull off. We're gonna sleep in the bed tonight. Don't have a sleeping bag, so we're just gonna put on some warm clothes and get some rest in the bed of this truck. It's 3:45 a.m. I'm getting pretty tired, so we just need to find a spot. All right, I just found camp for the night. We'll probably just check it out more tomorrow, but I'm tucked in behind some trees here, so a little bit hidden out of the way. Just gonna jump right in the back there. After, of course, put an extra layer on. I think we're about 8 miles outside of Santa Fe. I'm gonna put some warm socks on. Then tomorrow morning, we're gonna have to adjust this carburetor. It's just getting there. We're at about 7,000 feet of elevation coming from Texas, so I'd imagine that carb's gonna be a little out of tune. All right, so for no sleeping bag, just got nice and bundled up here. I'm just gonna take my bag out of here and use that as a pillow. I think that'll work just fine. All right, well, into bed we go. That's it for tonight. I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, that was extremely cold. All right, last night was so cold. I had to jump inside the Toyota and turn the car on and get it warmed up in there. It was really cold. I could have used my sleeping bag, that's for sure. I'm still gonna have to pull over and adjust the carb, but there's an adjustment screw over on here, and then there's an adjustment screw over here, and then there's this screw, which I think is their mixture screw. So basically got to find the point where it idles real nice and then mess with my air fuel mixture and just listen to the motor. But we're gonna do that somewhere where I can actually kind of test things out, because we are pretty far, just kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. But look at all this, guys. Look at all this nasty trash over here. Everywhere you look, just trash on the ground. It's one of the big reasons why we're doing what we're doing over at Expedition Ranch. We want to see our public lands actually get taken care of, not look like this. All right, but we're gonna get back to civilization, get some coffee, keep driving. so I have to take a little bathroom break here. But we're up at 7,500 feet now, and this truck has been in Texas and it's carbureted. So I don't have all the tools to do the job. So let's get under the hood of this thing and adjust this carburetor. So this truck has a Weber carb on it, which is supposed to be really nice, but it's still a carburetor. Now, I'm not really a carburetor guy here, but I know a couple of things are going on with this. So the jetting that's probably in here is probably not good enough for the elevation that we're gonna go to. We're gonna be going up to about 9,500 feet, and it's probably gonna be more than that carb can handle. But we're gonna adjust it the best that we can. So that right there is your idle adjustment screw. And then I believe that screw right there is for our mixture. Let's find out. I'm gonna start backing this out, and that should richen it up. Oh, that just made it want to die. I also know that we're supposed to adjust the timing here by about 4 degrees, but I need to get access to that bolt right there, so we're not going to be able to adjust the timing. So I'm going to adjust the idle up a little bit, just because it's running a little low. There we go, a little higher idle. I wonder if that's as much adjustment as I'm going to get out of this thing. I have a feeling it is. I might need to pick up another pair of jets. All right, by the looks of that, considering that it's all the way turned in right now, my guess is gonna be that thing is as lean as it's gonna get. So I might see if I need to pick up another pair of jets, but I don't know where I'm gonna get them. Hopefully this thing doesn't run too rough up in Crested Butte. This is the first carbureted truck I've owned. Even with the issues with this truck, this thing is so much fun to drive. I've never owned a vehicle like this, and it's so it looks so good. All right, guys, it's Monday, and it's time to call cars and see exactly what they have to say about what's been going on with the Toyota. I've been driving it a few times since I've been up here in Crested Butte. We're at 9,000 feet up here. Second gear is pretty much gone at this point. You can't get it into second gear without some serious timing, effort, and holding it in second gear. So anyway, let's go ahead and give them a call. I really don't think that they were trying to screw me over or anything like that. Something else, I believe, happened here. And, I don't think that they would have had me come out and film this entire thing if they knew that this was, a bad transmission and, the other issues that we've had with this truck. Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. What's going on?
Well, there's a few things I want to talk to you about. The first big one is that it isn't a manual transmission, it's an automatic. It shifts right out of second gear and into neutral as soon as I let off the throttle. The transmission's toast. It grinds into gear. Like, I noticed it within the first 30 miles of driving it. It got progressively worse. It takes a lot of effort now to get it into second. I have to have my hand on it and actually hold it there. If I let off the throttle, it jumps out of second and into neutral. If I put the clutch in, it jumps out of second and into neutral. And fourth gear is giving me symptoms that it might do it in the future, but it's not jumping out of gear yet. There's a few other things too. So the dash, you remember how it had a different color on the dash? It was glued on, and so I wanted to take that off and figure out why that was put up there. I'm gonna need to replace the dash. It's got a crack in it that's it goes across the entire dash. I checked the driver's side manual locking hub and it was fine, and I failed to check the passenger side. The passenger side's locked up, so I'm out here in Colorado right now and it's about to snow and I don't have four-wheel drive. I didn't get to drive it, which was kind of something else that was a little bit of a disappointment. I thought that I'd be able to test drive it, especially since I came with cashier's check ready to go and all that. You don't need to take care of it right now. I mean, I'd like to find a resolution to it, you know, especially since we came out to film a video and part of that video is driving it back, and now I'm sitting here like, well, this isn't the way that I expected it to go. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry. I just want to make sure it gets resolved, you know, in the beginning of next year. All right, the takeaway from that is that all the guys up at corporate right now are off on Christmas. Totally understand that. They're not going to get a response to me till after the holidays. Totally get that. Not an issue with me. And, you know, he obviously sounded pretty disappointed. So I don't think that they knew it. I would imagine and I would hope that they'll take care of it and, you know, get the vehicle back into the state that, you know, I was under the impression that it was in when I purchased it. So anyways, we'll get an update for that in January, I suppose. So that's it. All right, guys, fast forward a lot of days here. It is January 9th right now. We made our call to cars to let them know what was going on with the vehicle on December 22nd. It was quite a while ago. And this morning I got my first call back from, something along those lines. And she basically told me that I am shit out of luck, that, you know, it doesn't matter that the salesman told me that things shifted fine right in front of me and all that, doesn't matter. And I'm pretty amazed that that is the response. Anyway, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on a phone call with the lady that I was just on and confirm some things. So we'll give her a call. Why was I not allowed to do a test drive?
We don't own the cars, so you guys can only either ride along while we drive them.
Okay. Now, this was not something that was disclosed to me before I flew out there. I assumed that I would be able to test drive it. After speaking with the lead sales manager over there, he said that they do allow test drives, but only when there's a deposit in place. Is this correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so I did have a deposit in place. Why was I not allowed to test drive it?
We drive the vehicles.
Okay, so no customer at any point is allowed to test drive a vehicle before they purchase it.
Right.
When I have a salesman who's driving this vehicle and he tells me that it shifts perfectly, no grinding, and that it's good to go, would that also be misleading?
I can't say if it would be or not. I mean, you were in the vehicle with him, so.
I was not shifting the transmission or driving the vehicle to feel anything. I can't, you know, feel what he feels.
Yeah, I can't say anything on that part. All I know is that we didn't have any problems at the time of consignment.
Okay.
That is why we had moved forward with it.
So in a typical situation for a typical consumer, if you guys sell them a vehicle that has significant damages, is it your position to not take any responsibility?
If with us selling everything as is, we are pretty much not liable for a lot of items.
What is in your seller's disclosure? So this person that actually is on the other end of this deal, what do they need to disclose and what liability do they have if they fail to disclose something?
I don't know that I can give up any of the information on what the sellers are able to do or not.
What is involved in the inspection that you guys do? What are the points on that inspection?
Pretty much just making sure what's working and what's not working, whether, like I said, it's usually a simple inspection, lights, brakes, AC, heat, things like that.
Gotcha.
We don't do any mechanics of it at all.
Do you have a list? Do you have a list with a bullet pointed, like a 50, 100 point inspection list that I'm able to receive? No, so none of this inspection that you guys do is consistent, is what you're telling me, if there's no bullet pointed list.
We're pretty much asking them what they know is wrong with it and then going through the vehicle and seeing what we notice is wrong, whether it's lights, brakes, windows, AC. We don't do anything mechanically with it.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll be in touch with Ken. Thank you. Bye. So while we're going to go through and make this rig perfect, and there won't be any of these issues because we're definitely not letting the person who wins this rig have any issues, we're going to go ahead and jump into it and go through the entire truck. Some lessons that I learned here. First of all, if you're flying into a place, you don't have much leverage, and if you're going to go drive it to Colorado or something afterwards, that's going to be your ride. You, again, don't have much leverage to be able to walk away from things easily. What I should have done here is I should have found someone in Texas who could have gone in and done some type of inspection before I decided to fly out there. Number two, when they say they've done an inspection on it, ask for the full point inspection list on it. When I asked for what are the points on the inspection, they couldn't give me anything, and I think that's a huge clue to how a company operates. Number three, if they tell you that you cannot test drive the vehicle, huge red flag. I will never do something like that again. Like, that was incredibly stupid. I had a lot of trust in this company because of all the good reviews that they had, but at the end of the day, not going in and test driving it, I would have found that second gear issue. I would have felt that something felt weird and driven it more, and we would have come to the bottom of this. And that leads me to number four, which is don't trust anything that a car salesman is telling you. Never. Go in and verify everything for yourself. And if there's things in place that are meant to hide certain things on a vehicle, take those as a red flag. I called and asked questions about the dash, and it turns out it was a plastic cover that was glued on the top, and the thing was completely cracked underneath. Like, you have to go in and verify these things. I was really bummed with the way that this whole thing panned out because I really wanted to make a great video for them. I wanted to show their showroom. I wanted to show their vehicles. I wanted to show a great experience with them and, work with the sponsorship. Like, that's great for us YouTubers. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to promote someone that doesn't have good business practices. To me, if they have that many customers that have great reviews, it's not worth it to sell someone a vehicle with major damages as something that's ready to go and not fix it. I would think that your reputation would be worth more than that. So even though this was a terrible buying experience, this is still a really cool truck. And when we actually go in and get everything fixed that we need to go ahead and fix to make it perfect and running right, this is still a classic Toyota pickup, and it is straight. I mean, this thing is a really cool little truck. I enjoy driving it. And even though we took a little bit of an L buying this thing, like being into this thing for about $24,000, as it currently sits, that's a definite ouch. The next deal that we got was actually a pretty decent deal. We picked up an F450 to actually tow this truck back to California with, since it started having some really big drivability issues with the transmission. That 450 has 33,000 original miles, and we got a pretty good deal on it. So anyways, guys, so in the next video with this thing, I'm going to be showing you guys all the cool stuff with this classic 1980s Toyota, going over the motor, going over transmissions, going over weight capacities, all the cool stuff. It'll be a full tour, and then we're going to jump right into that giant mountain of parts sitting in the shop and actually start making this a really cool rig. So anyways, guys, I'll see you next week.